All right, greetings and great afternoon. Thank you for joining us for this Utopia talk. I also like to say a Utopia Live Well lunch break. So it is Wednesday, it is midweek, so it's nice to have some, nice tips and strategies and practices, right? Wellness practices to elevate our holistic health and especially our mental well-being. So this is May. This is Mental Health Awareness Month and we're super excited to be bringing to you today, in today's Utopia Talk, ways to elevate your mental health through mindfulness and breath work. And I am Naya Powell. I am the founder and CEO of Utopia Global Wellness, also author of bestseller 30 Days of Utopia Living. And I'm here joined by not only a guest, but a member of the Utopia Global Wellness family, Priya Amaresh. So excited to have her with us today. And Priya is a certified yoga instructor and breathwork instructor, and she's also a chaplain for Duke University. So when we talk about health and well-being, there is a mind, spirit, body connection. So Priya, where are you joining us from today?
I am in Cary, Naya. Thanks for having me today. I live in Cary, but currently I'm working out in the field right now. I just finished a chair yoga class at a senior community center, and breath work was what we did most today. So there is a lot of benefits to what we'll share today in our breathing exercises.
Yes, and I love the fact that you mentioned that you just finished doing a session with the senior community. One of the things that I think is so important about what we bring as Utopia Global Wellness, being a digital wellness platform, is accessibility and accessibility to all types of people. So we really focus on globally and culturally relevant wellness classes, coaching, and workshops, and even retreats. And so we do that primarily through a digital wellness platform just like this. Accessible memberships and corporate partnerships. And so it allows you, right from the comfort of your home, no matter where you are in the world, to tune in and tap in and engage in culturally relevant wellness practices. So we have over 10 different types of classes, ranging from yoga and breath work to mindfulness to Tai Chi to HIIT to even Zumba and cultural movement. We have something for everyone, and we do have seated practices for those that may have mobility issues, maybe our senior community, or those that are in the middle of their workday and they're not really wanting to get on the floor, on the mat. We have a little bit of something for everyone, and we're very proud of that. We also, I would love to share that our instructor team represents 5 continents. And so we really feel that we've done a great job of meeting the need of workplace retention through wellness strategies and workplace well-being. So we're going to get into it today. I think I shared a little bit about who we are. We also have some exciting new partnerships. We have a new partnership with United Health Care. So if your company or organization has United Health Care, please make sure that you connect with us. We'll make sure that our contact is in the chat, utopiasgw.com. That means you and your workplace can engage in our live classes or on-demand library at no additional cost. We also, through that partnership, are partners with Renew Active as well, and that's the Medicare, Medicaid population and the underserved community. So we're making wellness very accessible to all. So let's get into this thing, Priya. So tell us a little bit about your background and what kind of brought you to the world of wellness and yoga and breathwork.
Sure. I have been practicing yoga for the past 10 years. Diligently, I'll say, for the past 8 years after I did my certification. And the reason I came into yoga was my form of exercise was just running. And in addition to running around after my kids, it was just, that's what I did. I ran until I did my one and only marathon. And I realized I didn't prepare well enough, meaning at the end, I had aches and sores and pains, and I didn't do the proper preconditioning or the post-conditioning that I needed to do. I just wanted to run and get my run over with. I started going to some yoga classes and realized the great benefits of just easing the body, stretching slowly, and incorporating the breath. Awareness to the breath. We don't even realize it. We are always breathing, unaware of how we're breathing. But when we focus on how we breathe, we become in tune to where our mind is. They say the breath goes where the mind is.
Mm.
If the mind is anxious and stressed out and overwhelmed, we have shallow breathing. We breathe just at the upper level of our lungs. But when we're relaxed and we're content, we're breathing deeper, which is a fullness of our conditioning of the body. It helps to bring more levels of oxygen in to cleanse the body. So tuning in to slow movements, tuning into the breath, helped me to realize I need to slow down and take a little bit more conscientious effort in my movements and focus on the breathing exercises. And we often say, whenever somebody's stressed out, take a breath, you'll be fine, take a breath. It becomes a mantra. And it doesn't need to just be a mantra. It needs to be something that we just naturally do. Take those deep breaths and slowly breathe out. So it balances our nervous system. Our sympathetic and our parasympathetic nerves are enhanced when we're conscientious of the breath. The inhale is that sympathetic nerves. Take that breath in and just feel what happens to the body. You get a little stiff, you get a little tense. Energy is. It's that fight flight mode. Now let go, relax, breathe out completely. That's your parasympathetic nerves saying it's okay. Let the body rest, let it digest, let it heal. So we want longer exhalations in our breathing pattern. So that's what I came to know of over time. And it was because I just didn't take time out from my daily rigor. I just wanted to go and get things done over with. And then it took a little bit of pain and trauma in the body to realize I needed to slow down.
I appreciate you saying that. A lot of things really resonate that you just said. And so, one, a lot of people may or may not know that in a former life, I actually, in the very beginning, phase 0 of the Utopia brand, when we were focusing more on the spa side, luxury spa wellness, I started and then I became a massage therapist, and I learned about the importance of breath. I learned about principles of yoga. I learned about Chinese medicine. And it was very enlightening. I think our program was one of the most comprehensive I've ever known of, the one that I attended in Atlanta, Georgia. And it was at the time called Rising Spirit Institute of Natural Health. And this program in this school was founded by 2 chiropractors. And so they gave us just a very in-depth knowledge of holistic health. And I remember learning that life is in the, in Chinese medicine, they believe that life is in the breath. And it makes sense because we need breath to oxygenate our muscles, our organs, or even like to unconstrict our blood vessels. So when you talk about, a lot of times people say, oh my gosh, just take a deep breath, calm down, take a deep breath. When we feel stressed and we're in that fight or flight, a lot of times we forget to breathe and we start to hold our breath and everything gets constricted. And then before you know it, we have a headache or we feel lightheaded and we're not even able to think properly, which is why even Oprah is talking about breath work, learning the principles of taking a deep breath and how that breath impacts our body is so important because as we know, Priya, the stress levels of the world are not necessarily dissipating, right? Like it's like what is going on today on top of everything that's been going on, last month, last week, and so forth. So the news headlines don't seem to be letting up, right? Everything going on in the economy, we're seeing layoffs, and we have our own internal challenges, right? With just kind of life, friends, family, health, all the things. And so it is so important that we learn these super simple lifestyle practices that you don't necessarily have to pay for. You don't have to go anywhere to do, but you can incorporate these simple utopian lifestyle practices into your everyday being, whether it is while you're driving, before you start that meeting, the 1 to 2 minutes. And I love when you said that you were a runner. So my father was a marathon runner most of my life. And so that really resonates because and he's run countless marathons. So I know how much training and how much work that is. I also know how much it, is can wreak havoc on the body, right? In the knees and all of those things. So that's not maybe something everybody's going to be able to like engage in and do. So we need to have these other lifestyle practices. You also talked about it being important to exhale longer than the inhale. Can you talk to us about that? Why is that important?
The body takes in a lot of oxygen. And we need the oxygen to keep down to the cellular level. That's what gives health to the cells of the body, to the muscles. But when we also need to let go of is the carbon dioxide, which can contain the toxins in the body. So it's a constant flow of the intake of oxygen, the release of carbon dioxide to balance out. And the longer the exhalation, the body releases that excess of hormones, those negative hormones, relaxes the cortisol, releasing carbon dioxide from the body. And carbon dioxide, we need it, but we don't need too much of it. We need to release it so that the body can take in more oxygen. There's more space for that healthy energy flow with oxygen coming into the body. So a longer exhale slows down everything. It's hard for us to slow down. We're just constantly on the go. And it seems so boring to think about breathing, but this is what we need to do. This is where we need to go down to the basics of who we are. In Chinese medicine, they call it qi. In the ancient Hindu philosophy of yoga, it's called prana. Prana is the life force. This body cannot exist. This physical body cannot exist without that pranic energy. And the way we tap into that pranic energy is connection to the breath. And we lengthen that prana. We lengthen it through breathing exercises and awareness of the breath. So pranic energy is what enlivens this body. It is the superpower of the body. They say, all your senses can go, your limbs can go, everything can go. The body will continue to exist because if prana is there, the body is still alive. But once the pranic energy is gone, then this body is just a bag of bones and muscle. So live in that prana through the breathing exercises. And, there's so many ways of thinking about what are the do's and don'ts of breath work. Don't do it when you're rushed for time. Do it in a place where you can completely focus on your breath. In a quiet room, maybe when you're driving without the radio on, you're just driving in a nice, easy path. Do it alone, just in your own space. Create, before you go to bed, a few deep breaths in and out. Do it daily. We do it naturally, unconditionally. We are breathing, unaware we're breathing. It just happens, but do it mindfully now. Be aware of the breath.
Yes. Perfect segue. So we are going to thank you for that. It's wonderful to know the foundation and why breath work is so important for our nervous system, for our thought process, for being clear in our thinking and not reactive but responsive, for our physical well-being, and all of these different things, right? And how it impacts our health. It also, benefits us by reducing our blood pressure. There are a lot of times when I'm at the doctor, and a lot of times we're anxious when we're at the doctor, right? And we're rushing probably to get there, to get parked, to get inside. So we've had lots of movement. And then a lot of times we're just anxious because we're at the doctor's, right? So it's not the most relaxing place. I have learned to take in deep cleansing breaths before my blood pressure. And I have been able to see, even if it's like if I do it at the grocery store, right? If I do it at the grocery store and it's a little bit high, I'll just sit, I'll take some cleansing breaths. I might think about the ocean because I love the ocean and it's just so calming. And then I'll take it again and I can see my blood pressure go down before my eyes. So it has numerous powerful benefits. So we're going to move into, wanted us to have a little bit of time to talk about the importance of breath work, what it is, and even mindfulness. You all know that if you follow Utopia and me, that I incorporate a lot of mindfulness. So mindfulness is simply the act or the practice of being fully present. It's being present on the present moment, present in our breath, present in, as we're doing breath work with Priya, body scanning, paying attention to how we're feeling that breath work, the oxygen move through our body and releasing those tight muscles. Present with our thoughts. What are we thinking about? Learning to think about what we're thinking about. Oftentimes when we're feeling stress and anxiety, which we know right now, anxiety levels are at an all-time high. This Utopia talk is very relevant because 1 out of 5 Americans is dealing with a mental health challenge or issue right now. Anxiety and depression being the most significant ones that we're grappling with. We know that we're losing $1 trillion in the U.S. economy and the business economy based on anxiety and depression alone. We're seeing suicide rates increase. And I'm a firm believer if we have these simple tools to incorporate in our day to day lives, we can learn how to take those thoughts captive. We can learn how to reroute what's happening in our mind and our bodies with breath work, with affirmations, with reframing our thoughts and even the words that we're speaking and taking in breaths while we're doing that and saying, okay, I am feeling a little anxious. I'm feeling anxious because I've been thinking about something that upset me. Maybe it's time for me to think about something I'm grateful for. So we're going to shift into our express wellness segment, which is really a treat for your lunch break. And we're going to do a few minutes of chair yoga, a few minutes of breath work, and then we're going to end with a few minutes of mindfulness meets gratitude. And so I want to just share a nice little quote with us as we get ready to transition. And before that, I'm going to invite you, if you have a journal, grab it. So I'd like to give you all a few minutes at the end to write some reflections in your journal. You want to incorporate any aromatherapy or light a candle. We always want to invite you to elevate your utopia, right? As we get ready to move into our wellness session. So as you're grabbing those things or even your water, I want to share this quote. Breath is the finest gift of nature. Be grateful for this wonderful gift. If we are breathing, we are alive. So that is something to be tremendously grateful for. So Priya, why don't you take us into, some seated yoga and breath work, and then I'll finish us out with a little mindfulness session and ask us anything. Please put your questions in the chat along the way.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to a very express yoga class on the chair. Just about 5 minutes. We'll do some work from the head down towards your toes. And you probably can't see my feet or my toes, but I'll just guide you and you can do it along with me. We'll start with the neck exercises, just tilting the head back, just releasing any tension in the neck and the throat area, bringing your chin to your chest. Your inhale as you tilt your head back, and your exhale as you bring your chin to your chest. Do that a few times and just feel that release of tension along the neck. Feel a stretch at the throat that stimulates the thyroid and the parathyroid gland at the throat, which helps to balance metabolism in the body. Now look straight ahead. Turn your head side to side now, bringing your chin over the shoulders. Maybe look behind you so you can get a good stretch here. And then look back to center. Relax your head, dropping your ear to your shoulder one side. Whichever side you've dropped the ear towards, stretch that arm. Place that hand on the head just to feel a little stretch along the side of the neck, the carotid arteries getting a nice stretch. And then the opposite hand, stretch it all the way to the fingertips. Feel the arms stretched. Good for releasing any tension along the side of the neck. Now do the opposite side. Ear close to the shoulder. Use the hand to help anchor down the head a little bit closer to the shoulder. Stretch the other arm. Fingers stretch them. Just feel that release of tension along the side of the neck. Relax the head. Relax your arms. Now circle a few times. A nice big circle. Just feel the weight of your head. 8 to 10 pounds, they say, the weight of our head, supported by the neck. A lot of tension we hold in the neck area. We get tight in the neck area. So release here. And then relax the head and relax your neck. Now the shoulders. Let's come to the shoulders. Bring your hands right to the shoulders. Pull the elbows together. And now include your breath. Your inhale here. Your exhale as you open. Push the elbows back. Pinch your shoulder blades together slightly. Inhale. And exhale. Lift your gaze up to the sky. Inhale, round the shoulders, pull your chin in towards your chest. Exhale and expand the chest. Push your elbows back. One more time. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Circling at the shoulders now. 5, 4, just nice easeful shoulder movements. Just observe that sensation, the range of motion in your shoulders. Go both directions, try it 5 times. And then relax the shoulders, relax your arms. Shake it all out, a little shimmy, upper body, relax it. And bring your knee up towards your chest. Press your thigh against your belly. Stimulates here the digestive juices as you press your thigh to your belly. You can even extend your other leg forward and just take a little balance here. Your sits bones pressing to the ground, to the chair. Bring your shoulders forward, keep the back straight. One more breath. And if you feel comfortable, let that leg just hang there. Bring your shoulders forward. Engages the core muscle as you're balancing. Now switch. Bring the other knee up. Hug it to your chest. Keep the spine tall. Extend your other leg forward. Your toes pointing up to the sky. Good. Hold for a breath. Now pressing your thigh towards your abdominal muscles, stimulating those gastric juices there. Release the knee. Let it float. Strengthening the core muscle. Strong core muscle helps to support your lower back. And then slowly release that knee down, relax the feet down. And just hold the side of your chair and see if you can bring your knees up together. Breathe in, breathe out, feet to the mat or to the ground. Inhale, lift the knees up. Exhale, lower the feet to the mat. Do that a couple times, just your own little sit-ups. Engages the hips, engages the knees. Now, see if you can just balance for a moment. Keep both feet off the ground, knees are lifted. Maybe you just balance for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands together, your feet to the ground. Relax, close your eyes. The body has been active. You felt the motion. Now bring awareness to your breath. A few important breathing exercises. The first one, a 3-part breathing exercise. You fill the belly with air, you fill the chest with air, and you feel a lift in the collarbones. So a deep breath in, all the way to the belly, expand in the chest area, feel the collarbones lift. And as you exhale, relax at the shoulders, feel the contraction of the rib cage, feel your abdominal muscles pull back. Inhale, fill it up. Exhale, relaxing. Shoulders, chest, belly. Again, inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs, hold at the top of the inhale, and now slow, long exhale. Observe how the body releases tension, comes back to a nice balanced state. A second breathing exercise, we call it Kapalabhati. Kapala means skull, Bhati means shining. To clear that fogginess in the mind. We often get cluttered in the mind, too much going on. The mind gets fatigued with all those thoughts. To clear the mind, Kapalabhati is a very vigorous breathing exercise. It's a forceful exhale, a passive inhale. So when you breathe out, you suck your belly in. It's like this. You can even bring your hands to your belly and exhale. Feel the tightening of the abdominal muscles. Exhale. It's just exhale, exhale, exhale. Do that about 10 times. Steady rhythmic exhalations, tightening the abdominal muscles, really good for the core muscle. Creates that fire in the belly, good for digestion. And of course, wakens the mind. This is one of those exercises that elevates and clears the mind. So it's your little caffeine moment. When you don't need to take caffeine, this is what you can do to wake up. So you can be sitting in the car, driving. It's something you can do while you're just waiting at the light. Just little quick breaths, forceful exhalations. The third one, this is really a great exercise to like calm the mind down. You got too much going on. You just need to tune everything out. This is what kids do when they put their fingers in their ears and they don't want to hear anything outside. This is called the Brahmari or the humming bee sound. We shut off all the sense organs. We close our eyes, we close our mouth, we close our ears, and we just go inward. We create this gesture where we put the thumb at the cartilage of the ear and we place our fingers along the sense organs. So just the first finger, gently, you can place it on your eyelid. It's a humming bee sound. So you close your mouth, you take a deep breath in, and you hum until you run out of breath. Try that. Breathe in. Focus on that resonating hum sound. It's a way to calm the mind, just to let go of all the sounds, the sensations that pull you in the world, allows you to go within. So these are 3 breathing exercises that can be very helpful just to bring yourself to that place of peace. Our ultimate goal is peace, is joy, is bliss. And so tune into the breath. See what you can do to just, it's your own medicine, is the breath work. Thank you.
I love that. I'm so relaxed and so zen. So it definitely definitely works. Just like that. I'm like super, super chill and relaxed. And I love having the privilege of being able to, follow your lead and not having to lead it, lead the meditation at that for those few moments. But I want to just kind of pause and give opportunity for any questions that might be in the chat, for any that might be viewing. You can type your questions in the chat. We do have our producer with us, Raylan. So if she sees any questions, she'll make sure that they get over to us as well. Or just even how you're feeling. I feel very zen, very calm, very relaxed. That was just a few minutes sitting right here in my office chair. So it goes to show you how we can actually take control of our health, our peace, our joy, and our mental well-being. And it's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Truly transformative. And Priya, I noticed, first of all, the humming sound, was it the humming bee? Is that what we call it?
Yes.
I heard myself and I was like, I sound just like a little bee or mosquito. Exactly, a bee or mosquito. But I noticed that a lot of breath work is done with exhaling with the mouth closed and through the nose. Can you tell us why we do that?
When we keep our mouth open, this exhale is losing more energy. So we want to be more conscientious of when you're exhaling. So they say talk less, listen more, right? Eat less, be mindful of what we consume. So keeping the mouth closed, breathing in and out of the nose helps to conserve energy. So just, that breath work is often, occasionally, there are some breathing exercises where you're, and you're just releasing to activate your throat chakra, to activate these glands here, the thymus. So there are some breathing exercises that just want you to, from the belly, bring it out and open the mouth and exhale loud. But to calm the mind, a closed mouth, breath in and out of the nose is a way to retain energy.
Retain energy. We need that as much as we're on the go, multitasking and busy. So I do see a question here. It says, earlier you mentioned metabolism, I believe. How does breath work help with the metabolism or thyroid?
So it's a stretch right here. They our gland at the throat, the thyroid and the parathyroid glands. This is what releases the hormones for balancing metabolism in the body, how the body regulates itself. We have a lot of issues of thyroid, hyperthyroid, hypothyroidism. So that really messes up our metabolism in the body when our thyroid levels are inconsistent or off balance. So that's a stretch with the breath. All the movements we do with a breathing, an inhale or an exhale. So you may not do it conscientiously, but if you do it conscientiously, it's just a little bit more awareness. You tune into the movement, you tune into what's happening in the body, and you're not worried about really what's happening. You're just experiencing. You're just allowing yourself to be and do what feels right. So if you're thinking, okay, this is going to do this for me, it shall, but we don't concern ourselves because we don't want to worry about, oh, we didn't do enough of it, or we need to do more of it, or it didn't happen. It didn't work out like she said it was going to happen. It is one of those things you just keep practicing. Even the breathing exercise or the humming bee sound. Some of us can hold that hum a very long time because our lung capacity is stronger. And our lung capacity can only become stronger with more breathing practice. So taking those deeper breaths in, longer breaths out. So it's a practice. It's an ongoing practice, and to, make it a daily practice, not just, when you realize, oh, I need to take a few deep breaths in. Whenever you can, just like brushing your teeth, take those few deep breathing exercises at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day.
Beautiful. That's helpful. And then as we're tilting our head back, I just want to confirm we're inhaling.
Your inhale.
And then as we bring it forward, we're exhaling.
Correct.
Okay. Now I'm going to add that into my repertoire. So I'll be including that in my daily wellness plan. So thank you for that. So we're going to just see if there are any more questions, and then we're going to close out with a moment of mindfulness. If you do have any questions, thoughts, or comments, go ahead and put it in the chat. I do see here, I feel calm, I feel centered. Thank you so much. Beautiful. All right, so as we get into our mindfulness practice, I always like to share just a little bit of knowledge and insight. So there are 5 ways that mindfulness can not only improve our everyday well-being, but even our productivity at work. We know a lot of you are joining us from the workplace. And so 1, it helps us to prioritize our tasks. I start each and every morning off mindfully. It allows me, no matter if I'm traveling, no matter if I'm at home or somewhere in another country, to have a bit of a routine and to start my day off with peace and order. So for me, my mindfulness morning starts off with some prayer and gratitude journaling. It also starts off with me writing out my to-do list for today. So I have order in my mind. So I'm already starting with prioritizing my tasks, my goals for the day, my walk, my water, my Utopia classes, and what are those projects, emails, phone calls that I need to make sure I focus on for the day. So 2, starting our day with meditation allows us to be present in our work, in our meetings, in our calls, to be mindful of even the flow of what we're presenting. I had a coaching client, I say also coachee, that was trying to figure out how to get promoted. They were already at the director level, and they understood that a lot of times during their meetings, they had a tendency to ramble. And so we just focused on creating order in our thoughts, our mind, and even on paper to be able to deliver what it is we're communicating in a more thoughtful, mindful manner. 3, focusing on one task at a time. I think, Priya, you just said, when we're breathing out of our mouth instead of our nose, it takes more energy. But we have a lot of things that are competing for our energy and attention all day long. Even our phone, the constant dings, or the emails and the texts. I'm a big believer in do not disturb for certain pockets of the day. And I'll still look at my phone periodically, but I'm also mindful of how much interruption I'm allowing to just hijack my thought process all day long. It makes for a more fruitful day. So focusing on one thing at a time, even in your daily planning, even in your calendar, mark out time for specific tasks, phone calls, follow-ups, emails, so you don't feel like you have to do everything at once, because that's not the most efficient and productive. Or create a distraction-free environment. Understanding which environments help you to be your most creative, productive self. For me, there's a window in front of me, natural lights, imperative for me to feel awake, alert, and energized. I also love coffee shops when I don't have meetings. Being around other people working energizes me as well. And those are 4 ways, but also looking at what hijacks your focus, what tends to drain your focus. Even writing those things down so you can be more mindful creating more of a mindful space for yourself. So we're going to go into a short mini mindfulness exercise with a focus on gratitude. So we can also focus on the what is in our life. It's easy to be focused on what's wrong, what didn't happen, what's going on in the news, all those things. They're never going away. So we have to be mindful of what we're thinking about and think about what we think about. So I'm going to share this quote with us around what mindfulness is, and then we'll go into a short mindfulness exercise. So restoring your attention or bringing it to a new level by dramatically slowing whatever you're doing is the power of mindfulness and meditation. So I'm going to invite you to take a moment. You can close your eyes, you can lower your gaze. As we want to be in tune with even our breath, you can place one hand on your heart and one hand on your neck. I'm going to invite you to take in a nice, easy breath as you're breathing in from your lungs, activate this oxygen and peace. As you exhale, I invite you to release anything that's causing stress or tension. Feeling that out, using the breath with that next inhalation, breathing in harmony. Exhaling, releasing, any discord, any confusion, feeling, just releasing. With our next inhalation, breathe in joy. Joy into our mind, our spirit, and body. Exhale any heaviness. Taking in another breath of breathing in peace. Exhaling and releasing from our body, our mind, and spirit, any anxiety. And with our next breath, I invite you to breathe in gratitude and peace, meditating on what is. Maybe it's your life, your health, the things that money cannot buy. Maybe it's just the beauty of the weather, the family. The next few breaths, continue to breathe in spirit of gratitude for what is in your life rather than what is. Maybe it's recent quality time you had with a friend or family member, or something as simple as a text message that uplifted your day. Taking in another final cleansing breath of mindful gratitude and abundance. You just have to even think of someone in particular that you're grateful for. Someone that's showing up for you, someone that represents love, someone that represents support, care, and there's a big probability that more than one or two things came up because gratitude is so powerful that it shifts and reroutes our neural pathways. So once we start thinking about one thing we're grateful for, the brain starts to think about other things that we're grateful for. So I'm going to give us about 1 minute to just jot down a few things in your gratitude journal if you have a journal, anything you can write on, a sticky note, a piece of paper. I like to discourage technology if possible, but if you don't have any other way to capture, just try to stay focused. Don't end up on social media, the rabbit hole of technology. Just go ahead and write down a few of your gratitude reflections. Maybe it's people, maybe it's getting in your home, maybe it's taking time for your mental health today, your self-care. Maybe it's a few names, a few people. I'm writing it down. Great. I'm going to invite you to continue your breathwork practice, your mindfulness practice, a few minutes a day. It doesn't have to take long. It can be 5 minutes in a powerful way to transform and elevate your mental being and physical health and even of the well-being. So, Sabina said, thanks for sharing these techniques. Wonderful. Any other thoughts, questions, comments? Give a few minutes. See the chat. This was wonderful, relaxing, and it's given me a perspective on my mental health. Beautiful. Are there any questions for Priya or myself? Right. We're going to add a few. How often? How often do you practice breath work? So, Priya, that's a good question for you. I practice breath work in my own way, not more of what Priya taught us, but every day. I take deep breaths every time I feel myself getting a little stressed or anxious, and I start my morning that way. But Priya, what would you say for yourself?
The same every morning, after just getting up and doing all your morning activities, just sitting down for a few moments before eating. You don't want to have too much in your system, and then do the breath work. You want to do it on an empty stomach. Of course, before you start an activity, you don't want to rush into it. You want to first be aware, take those deep breaths in, be conscientious, and then pursue whatever it is you're going to do. Then you have a little bit more clarity when you start an activity. So before starting, whether even if it's driving, sitting in the car instead of just starting the car, take a few deep breaths in, have that idea of where you're going, the direction, and then start the movement. So before beginning a task, whether I'm cooking, okay, what am I going to cook? Take a deep breath in, think about how I want to prepare this. That energy goes into everything you do, that positive energy. So whatever task you're doing, take just a couple of seconds, a moments. A breath doesn't take forever, it's just a few moments. So acknowledge the breath.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I want to thank you all. Priya, thank you so much for joining us today. This was so powerful and transformative. Priya teaches yoga and work on the Utopia Global Platform, wellness platform every week. Priya, can you share your times and days of classes?
Yeah, thanks, Naya. It's been a pleasure to offer classes for Utopia Spa Global Wellness. I have been doing the classes on Tuesdays at 11 and Thursdays at 12. So look forward to seeing whoever comes online to do the classes with me. Thursdays are more of the awareness of this breathing exercises, so pranayama. Tuesdays are hatha yoga, which is the holistic practice of asanas, the physical postures, the breathing, and then a few moments of silence and meditation.
Beautiful. So tomorrow, you can get more of this tomorrow. So thank you all that joined the conversation. conversation today. We are very grateful that you chose to be a part of this Utopia talk, and we hope that you were able to take away some powerful strategies to elevate your mental health in life, everyday life, and work. And if you are interested in learning more about our workplace wellness partnerships and programs, please click the link for your discovery call, or you can just find that on our corporate wellness page, again at utopiasgw.com. You can also find information about our memberships. We have individual memberships as well as corporate partnerships and memberships. So thank you all. And I want to leave you with this. There is power in your peace, so protect it. Thank you, and make it a Utopia living day. Take care.